In this podcast episode, host Chris Williamson interviews Sam Harris, a prominent thinker and author, on various topics including wisdom, social media, alternative media, and the nature of reality. Harris begins by discussing the concept of wisdom and how it involves making one's mind a friend rather than an enemy. He emphasizes the importance of paying attention to one's own mind and recognizing that it has no shame. Wisdom, according to Harris, is the capacity to take one's own advice. The conversation then shifts to the negative impact of social media, particularly Twitter, on one's life. Harris shares his personal experience of being on Twitter for 12 years and how it gradually degraded the quality of his life. He describes Twitter as a psychological experiment that enrolled everyone without their consent, leading to a distorted and destructive view of the world. Harris explains how social media platforms like Twitter create a false sense of interaction and perpetuate echo chambers, where people are talking to their own fans and weaponizing them against others. He highlights the negative effects of anonymity and the fragmentation of attention caused by social media. The discussion then turns to the question of what civilization would be like without social media. Harris argues that social media is a net negative and a massive opportunity cost for most people. He believes that it has degraded our ability to pay attention and has fragmented our lives. He mentions the detrimental effects on reading books and the neurologically incapable behavior of young people who struggle to watch a movie without interruption. Harris suggests that while social media may offer positive experiences, the overall impact is negative. The conversation moves on to Tucker Carlson's move from Fox News to Twitter and the implications for alternative media. Harris expresses his skepticism about Carlson's integrity and points out the mismatch between his public persona and his private comments about Donald Trump. He also discusses the tribalism and polarization that social media platforms like Twitter perpetuate, making it difficult for individuals who are not aligned with a specific political tribe. The discussion then delves into the topic of wisdom and the role of death in shaping one's perspective on life. Harris reflects on his own experience of giving a talk on death and the present moment at an atheist convention. He emphasizes the impermanence of everything and the need to prioritize one's attention and focus on what truly matters. Harris argues that true happiness is not contingent on external achievements or goals but on being process-oriented and finding contentment in the present moment. The conversation continues with a discussion on the state of alternative media and the search for truth. Harris acknowledges the thirst for wisdom in society and the need for compassionate and wise voices. He reflects on the influence of figures like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson, recognizing their ability to captivate and inspire people. However, he also highlights the importance of discernment and critical thinking, urging individuals to distinguish between genuine insights and harmful ideologies. Harris begins by suggesting that we should have a module in our minds that continually reminds us to enjoy the good moments in life. He argues that if we can't find happiness in these moments, then we will never be truly happy. He encourages us to settle into the present moment and to be fully present and attentive to the beauty of our lives. Harris acknowledges the paradox in wanting to become more spiritual or enlightened while also recognizing the beauty of our current lives. He suggests that we should strive to become better at recognizing and appreciating the present moment, rather than constantly seeking external validation or future happiness. To illustrate this point, Harris shares a personal anecdote about rushing to an interview and missing the opportunity to fully appreciate his wife's presence. He highlights the importance of recognizing these missed moments and making an effort to be fully present and engaged in our lives. Harris emphasizes that the practice of mindfulness and meditation is not separate from the rest of our lives. He argues that mindfulness should be integrated into every moment of our day, rather than being confined to a specific time or place. He suggests that our entire lives can become a meditation, where we are constantly aware and attentive to our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. He also discusses the concept of reframing and the power of changing our perspective. He suggests that by telling ourselves a better story and reframing our experiences, we can change our perception and find more happiness and contentment in life. Harris acknowledges the decline of organized religion and the rise of political and ideological movements as a replacement for religious thinking. He suggests that this shift is driven by economic factors, such as wealth inequality, which leads to dissatisfaction and a desire for change. He argues that people are searching for meaning and purpose in their lives and are turning to politics and identity-based movements to fill that void. Harris discusses the limitations of Stoicism and the need for a comprehensive methodology for training attention and ethical insight. He suggests that Buddhism offers a systematic approach to training the mind and finding wisdom and fulfillment in life. Harris emphasizes the challenges of managing an online audience. He mentions that he has been actively disciplining his audience by hiding users from his channel who make unthoughtful responses or criticize him in a way that he finds unproductive. He believes that cultivating a reasonable audience is crucial for any creator and that the goal should be to encourage good, supportive conversations. Harris shares his experience of having wars on his podcast in the past and noticing that his audience would trash his guests on social media. He emphasizes the importance of not mobbing guests and creating an environment where respectful conversations can take place. Harris acknowledges that social media platforms can often be cesspits of negativity and believes that it might be possible to create a platform that encourages good conversations. However, he recognizes that it would not be at the scale of Twitter or Facebook and would require low tolerance for heavy moderation. The conversation then turns to the concept of free speech on social media platforms. Harris argues that social media platforms are businesses and that the concern should be for the owners and operators who should have the right to curate content and not be associated with speech they find objectionable. He believes that it is impossible to be a free speech absolutist and that even platforms like 4chan have limits on free speech. In terms of future plans, Harris mentions that he will continue focusing on his podcast, Making Sense, and his app, Waking Up. He expresses a desire to write more but finds it difficult to incentivize himself to do so because writing takes longer, reaches fewer people, and pays less. However, he recognizes that writing allows him to fully think through each topic and may eventually write another book. Harris concludes by expressing his gratitude for being able to make a career out of doing what he would do for free anyway. He acknowledges the challenges of the internet and negative comment sections but believes that the overall experience is a dream come true.